And we discussed earlier, and it's made quite a bit of news around the state, this idea that Jim Wright may try to return to the Senate. And on Capitol Confidential, which is run by a former Times reporter, I think working out of the Schenectady newspaper, there's a lot of chatter on it. And these blogs are interesting. The story was originally broken by Political IV, which obviously means it was floated there. You know, rather than, in the modern electronic age, rather than float a story within earshot of a reporter who's standing in a hallway, you float it through a blog or something. It's just the way things are done. But comments on this blog out of the Capitol area. Political IV is a hack county legislator up there who blogs and secretly because he has lost to Darrel in past elections. I would hope the Times Union would not be so quick as to reference any of his postings. There is no way Jim Wright's going to give up the kind of money he makes as a lobbyist, which he chose over the North Country just months ago. Well, I don't know. Maybe that lobbying business ain't all it's cracked up to be. Plus, there's something to be said for being in the center of attention. That kind of stuff. So, here's another person says, here's something I've learned about political blogs. Don't believe everything you read here. But I think this was confirmed by the ex-senator. And then another one says, the GOP is dead. Deal with it. That's not necessarily true. This goes on and on. There's just a lot of these things. We had predicted on this show, incidentally, that Darrel Aubertine would run unopposed for a Senate CEO, or essentially unopposed, because obviously they are in trouble coming up with an opponent. But if Senator Wright decides to run, that does create sort of, death match 2. Now, the senator, if you do the matrix on him, I mean, he is well informed on the issues, has contacts, track record, and a couple other good things. He's never went to prep school, and his dad never charged people to fish on a river. But on the other hand, a lot of people are mad at him for creating this mayhem, and they said, well, he left office, his time is done, and we got this other guy in, let's give him a chance. I heard that sentiment quite a bit at Italian-American Club Saturday night among some of the attendees there at a Joe Rich dinner. So, it cuts both ways. I think it would be a pretty competitive race in the fall, but definitely Wright would have a pretty good chance of prevailing, as would, I think, Senator Aubertine. It would be interesting, but interesting only for those of us who like to watch train wrecks, like last winter's campaign, because it would be very similar in its acrimony and all of that stuff. Hello?
Hello? Hello? Are you there? Test 1, 2.
Hey.
Testing 1, 2.
Apparently the lights weren't flashing, but you're on the air now.
Hey, Mayor, how you doing today?
Good.
Yeah, I thought I'm the one that texted you. I didn't think it was working. I called earlier and there was no answer, so
Well, the little red and green lights aren't coming on, but I thank you for that very much. What's on your mind today?
That's why you got no calls.
I was just having such a great time talking. I forgot all about it.
Now, here's my view, and everyone I know's view. If I'm wrong, and you might have already discussed this, not today, but earlier, your buddy, local Wright, Senator Wright, not Reverend Wright.
I'm getting the two confused.
Okay, I know. It's a tough time. Yeah, basically stepped down because his buddy Spitzer had offered him like a job that was supposed to be very glamorous and high-paying.
Well, no, that's not. He was not working in the Spitzer administration.
What's that?
He took a job in a private lobbying consulting firm or whatever.
On top of that, though, wasn't there supposed to be a Spitzer job coming?
No. I mean, they're in opposite parties. They were. There had always been talk before of a possible commissionership or something. That didn't pan out. But
that's why he stepped down, is what everybody had thought.
That was in the Pataki. No, I honestly think that at the time, I mean, he'd been in several years. I think he saw the majority slipping away electorally, perhaps. He's a pretty perceptive guy, and I think he just didn't see a future for himself in terms of moving up to majority leader. So, and this other opportunity came along, and he just decided to do that. And then maybe I'm sure he missed aspects of it, because I'm sure once politics is in your blood, you're there. But I think in that sense he wanted to get back, and I think he felt an obligation or whatever to the party, because he'd been involved in creating the vacancy that led to the loss of what was a safe seat, and he feels that he has to suit up and go in and regain it, because they don't have anybody else who can.
Well, I really don't think that's the case. I think it's pretty much that he was supposed to have an appointed job that fell through because Spencer, lost the helm. And I think because of that, he's backpedaling now, trying to get back where he was.
You think so?
That was what the rumor was all over, and it just...
Now, you see, I never heard that, and maybe that rumor never hit Pete's restaurant, but...
I thought you'd discussed it.
No, that wasn't on the air here.
No.
I've never heard that rumor, but it's a good one.
Oh, that's what everyone had heard.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get it on Political IV.
Oh, maybe. But I just think that...
Is there a way of finding out?
We've had such little of the government working for New York State for so long now that this has just got to be over. It's kind of like being in prison. When you drop the hammer, you don't get it back. He's wasted so much taxpayers' time and money stepping down like that. He has no right to be back trying to come back again. I'm under the firm belief that if you're in any type of office whatsoever and you run for another office, you should be giving that up immediately. We wasted so much time. We haven't had anyone in the Senate or Assembly working for this state outside of Ms. Skozafava in, like, a long time. It just hasn't happened. And now with Assembly, every 2 years, got to run again. We don't have anyone working for us. Why don't we just do away with all these positions if we aren't really using them? What good does a senator do if we, how much senatoring do you think that Aubertine's going to do if he has to run again between the time when he won and now? It's going to be zero.
Right. I'd be interested to see what this fall campaign consists of, although most people I've talked to...
Honestly, Wright just shouldn't even be allowed. The answer should be no. You step down, pal. It's too bad. I know you're in debt and you don't have the capability that you had once before. Don't go and do it. It's got to be over.
Well, I mean, he certainly obviously has a right to run. I think like I said, I think most people would have been very content if he had just stayed in.
But he didn't. But he wasted a lot of time and taxpayers' money because of it, and he wasted a lot of both parties' money because of it if he wants to get back in. I don't think he should have the right. I think it's like if a president steps down early, they shouldn't be able to run again.
Right.
That's just awful. All it is he's making a fool of everybody, and just for his own personal reasons, he's making a fool of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't have tried to shoot Barkley into it anyway, because his old man was friends with the Johnsons and basically got McHugh his job. Just things like that shouldn't have happened. It's bad. It's making a guy like me, it's a conservative, just feel like every party's completely just gone to the crap. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
That and it's nothing but make a joke out of it. And I can't see how you can just look lightly over it, like, well, he might come back in. That might be a good thing. Well, it wouldn't be a good thing. All it would be was a big foolish waste of time to go down in history as being nothing but a waste, whether he runs and wins or loses or anything, that he's running again.
I know some broadcast executives in town who wouldn't mind a little $4 million extravaganza this fall.
Yeah, well, that's just another a waste of taxpayers' money, though. Where do you think that's coming from?
I guess.
And they're not doing anything for us while all they're doing is running. We need to get some officials with some long terms, and they don't have to constantly run all the time.
It's all just entertainment to us. We're mere observers of the human condition here, and will not be participating in any of it. So we just watch and find it entertaining.